Welcome to Common Core Coach for High School, a supplemental curriculum program designed to provide differentiated instruction for the new Common Core state standards for English language arts. The program's purpose is to bring on-level students where they need to be to meet the rigors of the Common Core state standards. Differentiated instruction meets the needs of learners with a wide range of proficiency within one classroom. Common Core Coach for High School is a very flexible program. Though Level 1 is aligned to the 9th and 10th grade Common Core standards, and Level 2 is aligned for 11th through 12th grade standards, a teacher may choose to use any of these books in any grade level to suit their students' needs. There is a 40 to 60% fiction to nonfiction balance, and all reading comprehension and language standards are fully covered. The instructional model in C3 for high school is the same as in all the other C3 products. It provides genre-specific reading lessons that cover the Common Core state standards in a holistic, contextualized way. Each lesson uses integrated instruction and practice to cover multiple CCSS skills, presenting students with a solid foundation for working with complex texts. The basic instructional model is the research-proven three-step gradual release model. The reading strategies will be taught in the context of a genre-specific passage and not in isolation. There are also a variety of vocabulary strategies throughout C3 that are founded on the vocabulary requirements of the Common Core state standards. C3 for high school has a variety of key features throughout the teacher's manual, as well as in the student edition that offer multiple levels of support. The lessons are built around the genres and writing types required by the Common Core state standards, and these lessons cover a logical cluster of skills and strategies taught in the context of an appropriate genre. The lesson plans for speaking and listening projects emphasize the communication, collaboration, and presentation skills outlined in the Common Core state standards. The student edition is in full color, which makes it visually engaging. 5 assessment opportunities help teachers gauge student progress throughout the program. The American and World Literature books are solely focused on comprehension. There is no writing instruction, as that is provided in a separate book, Composition 1 or Composition 2. There are literature check-in boxes which provide opportunities for teachers to break and monitor students' comprehension. Author's Craft features review and gives practice with recurring concepts. The Writer's Craft is the same feature, but it is in the Composition 1 and 2 books. The independent projects that are provided at the end of each lesson offer students 2 options. One is a research project with a written component. This is a great option for students who like hands-on experiences. And the second is a reading project in which students apply skills learned in this lesson to a longer text. Teachers can assign either or both of these projects depending on the needs and interests of students and time available. American literature and informational texts provide students with opportunities to read a variety of authentic literature and informational texts that encapsulate the diverse American experience, with a special focus on historical documents and national themes. In world literature and informational texts, students will read a variety of authentic literature and informational texts from around the world, with a special focus on universal themes and cross-cultural connections. Each book is divided into 2 sections. The first section, which contains lessons 1 through 4, focuses on literature types. The second section, which contains lessons 5 through 10, focuses on informational text types. Each lesson begins with a full color photo and an explanation of the genre, essential features of the genre, and a brief explanation of what the students will be reading and the strategies they will be studying and practicing. The teacher explores this first selection with the students by reading the text aloud, and the students will follow along. Consider questions introduce students to the important themes and ideas of the reading selection through class discussion, and skills-based callouts teach key ELA concepts, pointing students to specific examples in the selection and promoting interaction with the text. Periodic check-in boxes provide opportunities for teachers to break and monitor students' comprehension. Author's craft and vocabulary strategies are features that will review and give students opportunities to practice with the genre's recurring concepts. Rooted in the standards, the comprehension check questions will continually assess students' understanding and analysis of the text they are reading. When the reading and work is completed on the first passage, students will now work in pairs or small groups to read and analyze a second selection in the same genre. Once again, consider questions, stimulate discussion on the major themes and ideas of the selection, and call-outs give opportunities for students to apply the concepts they have learned to an unfamiliar text. Students will collaborate to address open-ended discussion questions. Additional comprehension check questions will assess students' understanding and analysis of the second selection as related to the Common Core state standards, and may even ask students to compare the two selections. Inquiry projects will require students to conduct further research, culminating in a written response and/or a presentation. Application projects ask students to apply the concepts they have learned in the lesson to other texts in the curriculum and compose a clear deliverable. These independent projects can both be assigned to students or just one can be assigned. If time is not available, a teacher may also choose not to assign either of the independent projects. Speech bubbles include dialogue that can be read aloud to students, and there are helpful section heads and icons that correspond to the student edition. A text complexity box is provided in each lesson to offer insight on the rigor and readability of the specific reading selection, and a detailed explanation of the text complexity triangle is in the teacher's manual as well. Finally, extension boxes throughout a lesson provide additional ideas for coverage of the Common Core state standards. Detailed directions help guide the teacher in all the how-tos of presenting the instruction of each lesson, and correct answers are included for each question and activity the students will be doing. The separate assessment workbook includes 5 practice assessments, all with multiple choice and open-ended items. Each assessment includes multiple reading selections reflecting the text types that are associated with each lesson. All selections have been chosen based on grade level appropriate lexiles, and where necessary, selections have been paired for students to compare and contrast. Common Core Coach Composition 1 and Composition 2 are supplemental curriculum programs designed to provide differentiated instruction for the new Common Core state standards. Here, students will apply the writing process and research techniques to compose literary responses, essays, and narratives. In either program, the student edition covers all of the writing skills outlined in the Common Core state standards. Each consists of 2 units. Unit 1 is all about writing foundations, the writing process, and the research. Unit 2 is all about writing for different purposes. The student edition also has a writer's craft, grammar review, and mechanics review, which offer further practice and instruction on specific aspects of style and conventions. Students are encouraged to complete graphic organizers, maintain writing process checklists, and conduct peer reviews throughout the program. Composition 1 is aligned to the Common Core state standards for 9th and 10th grades, and Composition 2 is aligned to the Common Core state standards for 11th and 12th grades. Lesson 1 offers a comprehensive review of the writing process from brainstorming to publishing. Lesson 2 focuses on evaluation and integrating resources to write a research paper. Lessons 3 through 6 provide complete instruction and practice in writing the specific text types addressed by the Common Core State Standards, responses to literature, informational and explanatory texts, arguments, and finally, narratives. Each lesson begins with an engaging full-color picture and an explanation of the kind of writing the student will be working on. As the teacher moves the students into the lesson, there will be a brief overview and diagram of the writing process to introduce students to the skills and topics they will encounter throughout this lesson. Lessons are broken into subsections to make the writing process more manageable. This is another example of how the writing process has been broken down into manageable and teachable chunks. Students will begin to apply the same writing skills they have observed in the mentor text to an individual writing assignment. Skills-based callouts are placed alongside the mentor text to teach essential writing skills and guide the students' interaction with the mentor text. Students will work with the same writing prompt throughout the lesson for comprehensive practice in the writing process. The Writer's Craft, Grammar Review, and Mechanics Review offer the students further practice and instruction on specific aspects of style and conventions of the text they are working on. The Teacher's Manual offers robust support with reduced student edition pages, scripted instructional dialogue, sample student answers, and guidance for struggling students. There is a detailed Common Core State Standards correlations chart, guidelines for how to conduct a student-teacher writing conference, how to help students become effective peer reviewers, checklists, graphic organizers, and grading rubrics. The reproducible writing prompts can be used alone or in conjunction with the Literature 1 and 2 assessments. Helpful section heads and icons correspond to the student edition. Speech bubbles include dialogue that could be read aloud to students as they work throughout the lesson, and finally, extension boxes provide additional ideas for how to cover the Common Core State Standards. Sample responses and scoring considerations or rubrics are included for each activity in the student edition. This provides students with the knowledge ahead of time on the important pieces they need to make sure to include in their writing. Common Core Coach for high school has been developed exclusively for the Common Core State Standards and can be your instructional anchor as you chart these new waters.